Dear friends, we are halfway through our journey of the Advent season. We celebrate the third Sunday of Advent, the Gaudate Sunday. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say, rejoice. St. Paul tells us in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 4. Today, the church pauses in the middle of the Advent to take a breath in a different kind of air. The candles are still purple. The waiting is still real. But suddenly, there is a burst of rose, a hint of joy, a reminder that even in the long stretch of waiting, God is already at work. Gaudate Sunday is not a command to pretend everything is fine. Rather, it is an invitation to notice that God is moving even when life feels unfinished, unresolved, and uncertain. In the Gospel, John the Baptist, who once proclaimed Jesus with absolute conviction, now sits in prison. His world has shrunk to four walls, his future is unclear. And from that place of confinement, he sends a question to Jesus. Are you the one who is to come? Or should we look for another? This is a profound human moment. That even the greatest prophet has doubts. Even the holiest disciple needs reassurance. John's question is not about a failure of faith. It is the prayer of someone who has given everything and now needs to know that his sacrifice mattered. Dear friends, how many of us have prayed that same prayer in our own way? Lord, are you really with me in this diagnosis? Lord, are you really with me in this trauma? Lord, are you really with me in this sickness? Are you the one who can heal this relationship? Are you the one who can guide us, our family, through changes? Are you the one who can bring hope to a world that is fractured? Are you the one that will bring light in a world that is so dark? Dear friends, John permits us to bring our honest questions to God. But look at the response that Jesus gives. Jesus does not answer with a simple yes or no. He says, go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised. The poor receive the good news. In other words, John, look at the fruits. God is already doing the work. Jesus invites John and invites you and I to recognize grace in motion. Sometimes we wait for God to act, not realizing that God is already acting in ways we did not expect. It could be a simple and small reconciliation in a family that had been divided. A parishioner returning to Mass after many years away. A child asking a deep question about God. A community stepping forward to support a mission or a project that once seemed impossible. A quiet moment of peace in a week that felt overwhelming. These are not small things. They are signs of the kingdom breaking in. Therefore, the Gaudate Sunday teaches us that joy is not the same as comfort. Joy is not the absence of struggle. Joy is the presence of God during the struggle. Isaiah today speaks of days as blooming, weak hands strengthen feeble's needs, made firm. He's not describing a perfect world. He's telling a story about a world in the process of being healed. That is where we live, in the middle of God's restoration project. And that is why we rejoice. But what does this mean for you today, as my dear friends? What does it mean for you today? Is there something that you need to rejoice that God has done, but you didn't think about it? What is it that reminds you that we are not finished because God is at work? Therefore, Gaudate Sunday invites us to look around and name the signs of grace. These are not just dramatic big projects, small pieces of joy, small things that God is doing in our lives as manifestation of His grace. As a final word, my dear friends, rejoice because God is faithful. John the Baptist never saw the whole picture. He did not witness the resurrection. He did not see the church born at Pentecost, but he trusted the one who was coming. And so do we need to trust in the one who is to come. We rejoice today not because everything is perfect, but because God is faithful. We rejoice because Christ is nearby. We rejoice because the kingdom is already unfolding among us. So as we light the rose candle today, let it be a reminder for you and for me to look for the signs of God's presence, to trust that our waiting is not in vain, and to rejoice even in the middle of the story. Rejoice in the Lord always. Not because life is easy, but because Christ is coming and Christ is already here. God bless you and have a beautiful week.